Please don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe, and there's some links to support the channel. And make sure you stay to the end because I got a really cool centrifugal force demonstration. All right. Yes, there's something happening here, something strange, yet it's completely understandable. What am I talking about? Well, Michael Dunleavy here. This guy's been on my channel for years. As you know, he trolls flat earth. He's a ball earth proponent, whatever, spinning ball earth. And here he is also saying, if you've watched my last few videos, you know I'm talking about the spherelander. I'll give you a little quick backstory. It started years ago when I started doing videos on the rotation, how this debunks the spinning ball earth. JSS Tiger, Wolfgang Lahn, these are a couple of accounts. You know, they could be Neil deGrasse Tyson, for all we know. They're anonymous, of course. When they were arguing with me, they were defending their sphere by explaining how a cylinder works. So I did a series of videos on that. And then we have CriticalThink back from his trip to Antarctica, and he too is defending the sphere by describing a cylinder. Then this Michael Dunleavy, who said he worked at NASA at some point. I believe if I have the same guy, he got incensed with me and said, I sent stuff to the moon. The moon, I worked on the moon lander or the rover, whatever, maybe it was Mars rover, I don't know. And he said, I know that it's real. I said, look, I sent letters to Santa to the North Pole. Just because I did doesn't mean they actually got there. Doesn't mean there's actually a Santa. So yeah, he didn't like that. But anyway, this is just recently, within the past few days or so, he's on my channel, and he says the spherelander model, is correct. Wow. Yes, something is happening here. But what it is, I am 100% clear. See, they can't defend their sphere by explaining how a sphere works, because, well, first, they don't know how a sphere works, but secondly, the sphere doesn't work. So they can't use it. The spinning ball Earth is fake. It can't be real, because all the water, as we see with this red spinning ball, all the water wants to go to the equator. Now, they try to say, oh, it's not the same as the Earth. But in fact, it's exactly the same. Because gravity, even if you employ gravity, gravity only holds things in a straight line. Gravity aids in everything moving in a straight line. Everything that's not tied down to the rotating ball. So basically it works like this. To see still glass mirror like water like this, everything has to be, that's above the ground, has to be 100% in sync with the ground. But on their ball, the problem is all the latitude lines are a turn, and as per Newton's first law of motion, an object in motion will tend to stay in motion at a constant speed and in a straight line. Water, air, everything would want to go in a straight line. Therefore, the ground turning to the left in the northern hemisphere would separate from the water, which is above it. The free-moving, hundreds of mile per hour moving water and air, clouds, everything on the surface that's not tied down. You know, in light of the fact that Newton came up with the equatorial bulge, that supposedly we have a 14-mile equatorial bulge right now. The poles sunk in, the equator bulged out, the land filled in behind it. I mean, what a disaster. And so we're supposedly still on this same spinning ball right now. It's rotating at 1,000 miles per hour, and the ground is being sustained 14 miles high. Did you guys know that? This is their model. At all latitudes, though, the problem is, see, they are employing a cylinder because the cylinder, the water could remain straight and everything could move in a straight line because you would have gravity or some force would have to be at the pole. Now, they're not going to tell you what that is, but that's what we're going to ask. So for everything to be still like glass like this, when the wind's not blowing, to see this picture, you have to have the ground in perfect sync with what's above it. The water above it, the air above it, everything has to be in perfect sync. If it's not, and on their ball, the ground rotates left. All the latitude lines are a turn. The only straight line is the equator. And a straight line, yes, a straight line on a sphere is a great circle. They love to come in, it's not straight line, people, there are no straight lines on a sphere. Well, a great circle is a straight line on a sphere. And we are talking sphere right now. Okay, boys? All right. So all latitudes are a turn. That would be the ground separating from free-moving objects as per Newton's first law of motion, all these objects that want to stay in a straight line. Okay, see the blue lines with the red arrow on them? That's the path the water's going to take. That's a straight path, a great circle. Notice the ground moving to the left. It starts on the right side and moves under the water, the blue lines with the red arrows, and moves off to the left. That's what I was talking about, the ground separating from what's above it, separating from the water and the air and the clouds. If the ground separates, you'll never see smooth scenes like this, like a mirror. It's not possible. Just wanted to throw that in. That's why water moves to the equator of a spinning ball. And gravity aids that because great circles, a straight line on a sphere, share the same center of gravity as the sphere. So that's going to aid in everything going straight, just like the concept of orbiting satellites. There's no orbiting satellites because we're not a ball. They may have some other things up in the sky, but it's nothing orbiting around the ball because we're not a ball Earth. It's not possible that this would ever have even come into existence because everything would move. This is not something you can live on because the ground is turning left. It's separating from the free-moving water. If it's not separating, then what's the force here, let's say at 80 degrees north latitude, what force is keeping the water and the air and everything turning with the ground? That's the mystery. What is causing that? What is going to cause everything to stay together and not have the ground separate as it turns left, separate out from the straight moving water, air, clouds? What's going to make it do that around the pole? What force is located at the pole? Okay, let's watch this quick video from a professor.
And one other experiment we can do to show that a force inward is required to keep the ball moving in a circular path is to, at some point, as the ball is rolling around there, I'll just pick up the ring and watch what happens to the ball. The ball will be moving in this path. When the ball is right here, I'll lift up the ring and you'll notice that the ball will continue on with a straight line motion in the absence of a net force. Demonstrating that a centripetal force or an inward force is required to keep an object moving in a circular path.
Okay, so you can see when he lifted the ring, what happened to the water inside the metal ball? It shot off in a straight line without a constraint to hold it and tether it around the center of that ring. Think of that ring as an upper latitude, right? That everything would have to have that centripetal force. So what force is that located at the pole that would make everything rotate around together and not have the ground separate out from the water and the air? What force is that? There is no force. This is busted. It's completely fake. This is a fake model. You cannot have still water like this when the wind's not blowing on their spinning ball. It's done. We'll talk to you very soon. Okay, bye.